What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Fed Dead Redemption. We are back, the Fed 3 ride again. Robert O'Neill, Joe Holbert, Oracle of Wrestling, Fed Dead Redemption number 39, taking a look at a very successful WrestleMania Backlash from last night. Joe, how you doing?
I'm terrific, Bobby. It feels like it's been a lifetime since I saw your wonderful grin on my screen. So I'm delighted to be back. The Oracle of Wrestling, also, who is very famous and is a star of many programs on this platform. No, I'm great, man. It's been a good week, and last night was a big part of that. We had a hell of a time last night. I think everyone that watched this show, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oracle, how's it going, bud?
I'm good. I'm pleased that we can come onto this show and talk about how it was a great show. I think we all expected that, but there's
Yeah.
always the weariness. So it's good that we're bouncing back a little bit from that night 2 WrestleMania ending that I think drained a lot of people's souls. So,
Absolutely.
but the adrenaline's back in
It's
the
true.
soul.
Yes, in the soul. Yes.
So, when we do these, we don't go match by match necessarily. So, Oracle, is there anywhere particular you want to start?
I mean, we should probably just go ahead and just talk about the Bad Bunny stuff, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing that everybody wants to talk about. I mean, first of all, oh God, now I sound like Charles Barkley. I do want to mention the crowd. The
Yes.
Puerto Rico crowds are incredible. Someone who worked on the 80s set for Puerto Rico for Death Valley Driver, I can attest that those crowds are absolutely amazing, especially the big shows at Roberto Clemente Stadium, which unfortunately they did not run. But that's a very minor complaint. One day I wish that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But crowd was just incredible. Bad Bunny. I think it was Steve on Twitter who said it was like if Michael Jackson headlined the WWF show in Chicago in 1987.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
It was insane.
it was honestly. He was, I think, more over than Stone Cold Steve Austin was in like 1998.
Yes. Yeah,
The
that was
entrance
I'm not
was-
exaggerating.
The
He's more
entrance
over
was
than that.
different, bro. That was
incredible.
like genuinely unlike
This
almost
is
anybody.
literally a national hero
Mm-hmm.
who is in the peak of his like stardom and career.
Yes. Yeah.
Coming out
And
to like
it's
one of his
important.
first major hits as everyone's literally the whole 18,000 people are screaming the lyrics of his song.
Mm-hmm.
The key there is like what you laid out is nuts, right, in itself. But it's when you add on top of that he's like a genuine fan of the business to an like almost dangerous degree, like is wanting to do like table spots, and
I mean,
it's very
the dude
unique.
took a Falcon Arrow 10 feet from the table.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
And then did a sliced bread number 2 and spiked himself on his head.
That was scary. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Corey Graves was fearing the worst. Did you hear his reaction to that?
Yes.
It was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the ref? He was like,
Imagine being his agent, man. Good lord.
Oh, yeah.
He was at the Met Gala last week, bro. It's crazy.
I mean, just an unbelievable atmosphere. Honestly, you could pick things apart about the match.
Right.
Like, it went awfully long.
It
Yeah.
But it was such a spectacle. The way that they worked it was very interesting. I wonder if it was Bad Bunny being like, I'm not an actual wrestler. I love this, but I don't want to like. It's very different than Logan Paul, who's like out there trading big bombs with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny, I feel like it was very much like he had to find ways to actually get on offense. No, yeah, he did it. Don't get me wrong, he did the Bunny Destroyer to win and the sliced bread, and he did a Michinoku driver and a Falcon Arrow to start. And Michael Cole keeps calling the Michinoku Falcon Arrow, and Graves has to correct him every time. He was like, "That's a Falcon Arrow." But anyways,
absolutely.
But like, I mean, yeah, he does these big moves, but like, he had to find opportunities to get on offense. And of course, there was a spot where he got hit with the choke bomb. What does Damian Priest call it?
The South of Heaven.
Yeah. The South of Heaven, and like he wasn't going to kick out because I mean he's not a wrestler. So there were things about that I appreciated. It went too long for it to be fully in that direction, but it was an interesting way that they did the match, and that's just me kind of analyzing it, breaking down. But just the spectacle itself was incredible. And look, man, the run-ins were unbelievable. I was texting you during this and losing my fucking mind. Carlito's music hit. I was like, in the pop he got. And then of course Savio Vega coming out and
he stood still.
Judgment Day, doing like his TNT spots from his 80s and 90s. For people who don't know, Savio Vega isn't just like a guy in WWF.
Right.
Savio Vega was a megastar in Puerto Rico known as TNT. Like an absolute megastar. He was the number 2 babyface behind Carlos Colon for years. So it was an amazing moment to have him come out and do that shit.
Speaking of amazing moments, we have a running of our own. We go from Fed 3 to Fed 4. Oh my god, it's famed at Wrestle Purist.
Oh man,
you right, mate?
Yeah, man, I'm buzzing.
You're making this town, but not the backup Hangman one tonight, is what I'm hearing. Is that what's going on here?
I think I don't want to oversaturate myself in that market.
Well, I've got you covered on that front.
The people like you. You're a general.
We're talking Bad Bunny. What was Cole's call on? What was Cole's call on Savio? He said something about TNT, right? He said like he's still got some TNT left or something. I think
something like that. Yeah. When he hit the kick, I was like,
yeah, man, it was beautiful.
And the camera work in the aisle was actually incredible. That was like, there was a lot of production gaffes on that show last night. More because like I thought they did a really good job on Mania. There were some things that did great, like Bad Bunny's entrance was the highlight of the whole show. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
Chambea, hola.
It was literally,
I was gassed, bro.
Literally like, no joke, Monty. It was literally. I said this. It was literally. He was more over than Austin in '98.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's genuinely one of the best entrances I've ever seen in wrestling.
It's about as cool as wrestling can possibly get, if we're being real, right? Like that visual. To your point, Oracle, I agree with you on. I appreciate the nod that Priest had him beat when they were just fighting. It does go on too long from there for that to really make any sense, but fuck it. Let's not let you get in the way of a good time.
It was meant to be like an absolute, like, almost, it was really basically a cultural spectacle in a lot of ways.
It was incredible.
Like, it was nuts.
It was, absolutely. I'll throw it to Montgomery in a minute, but Bob, as the selfless host, take the floor yourself, mate. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it ruled. Like I said, the entrance, the pop was incredible. The shopping cart full of weapons was a great touch. All the run-ins are fun. It probably was a little bit too long, but also I was just having a great time with it. And kind of just everything you wanted that match to be, and just multiple spots where you see Bad Bunny, and it's just like he doesn't have to do any of this. What is he doing here? And it just rules that he does it.
Absolutely. Incredible just enthusiasm to get into the professional wrestling business. The enthusiasm is outrageous, man. The dude is like gleeful to take a fucking forearm from Big Damian Priest. It's wild. Monty, what did you make of it? I mean, I got, I think we all got the same idea here, but anything to add on the Bunny front?
Nothing to add, to be honest. I just love the, it's like pro wrestling pageantry and just atmosphere and just vibes, which we use a lot around here. It was just great shoot, man. I loved it. There's probably not much I can say that hasn't already been said about it. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. I do think it's worth saying, like, as awesome as Bad Bunny obviously is in every which way, man, Priest did a hell of a job, didn't he? What a job he did
on
offense, man. On defense. I mean, he's selling in the way that, like, he tried his absolute best to add logic to the match and authenticity to the match. Let's be honest. I don't mean this is a slight on him, but I think it's a credit to him. That's probably the match he's going to be remembered for the rest of his life. Like, genuinely. Like, people will talk about this show because of the crowd, and that will be the match they talk about. And he's in there for 25 minutes with Bad Bunny, and he did a hell of a job. I think big props to him because Bad Bunny is the headline, but that was a hell of a task in front of him. I mean, as a big guy to work with a celebrity in the way he did, I thought was pretty challenging. He did it tremendously. So
Priest great, man. He's
did a good job.
I don't think he's like a future world champion or
Right.
anything, but and I guess some people may take it as a slight, but like he's such a good role player.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you give him something to do, bro. He'll even when he was a babyface, bro. It's like he'd done that United States Championship run as well as he could have with the booking. You know, he just knows his role and he executes, bro. He goes out there. It doesn't matter if he's running out for a run-in and he's only out there for 60 seconds, and it doesn't matter if it's 25 minutes like it was last night with a celebrity. So, shout out Damian Priest, yeah, man.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a hell of a time. It really, really was. And I think, the agenting for these celebrity matches, whoever put this thing together, I'm sure it was more than one, I would imagine, right? I hope Pop. Whoever it was.
How do I change it? I got it. I always get confused with this,
Yes.
Not bad, people.
There you go. Whoever agented it did an incredible job. And it was masterful. Like, for what it is, for this particular genre of professional wrestling, this was a masterpiece, genuinely.
Yeah.
And that's, Oracle and I completely share, like, in terms of, we could pick apart certain parts of it, and it's definitely too long. But fuck it, man. Like, if you watched it live, you know what that experience was like. It was special, so.
Exactly.
Bob, I apologize for taking the wheel. I just thought I would navigate us through Monty's debut. But now, feel free to take it back, pal. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think next, if you two are cool with it, we're gonna go the opener because I thought it was probably Bianca's best match since SummerSlam. Didn't love the build. I haven't loved the builds for a lot of her matches, but this one in particular, they got it in the ring and it was incredible. This is what we've been waiting to see from Io as well. And Joe, you've talked about that quite a bit where, this is kind of the path they should take with Io. And now it seems like they're doing it. And I thought really great choice to open the show, and they both brought it. And I think Bianca needed that performance just as much as Io did, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this was still Monty's talking point. He texted me last night. Like, that's the most Io's looked on the main roster like a main event player yet. She really rose to the occasion. I think she was going to give a great performance regardless because it was a big spot. But with the crowd behind her, she leveled up quite, dramatically. And you could see she embraced that kind of spectacle and atmosphere. I thought this match was great. I loved it. The one thing I'm torn on, I'm looking forward to rewatching it because I'm going to be writing a review for this one. I was unsure as to whether they leaned towards the crowd's reaction as well as they could have. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing on first watch. I've yet to rewatch this particular match, but I'm intrigued because there was definitely a moment there where Io was taking a control segment. I was thinking, man, honestly, the way this crowd is rolling, you'd better off just switching this thing completely best you can. It's hard. Very hard.
They didn't change a thing either.
No, that was where it felt like
stuck to it. They stuck to the plan,
The work was so good that it was still a great match. It was still terrific. And some of the near falls late were fabulous. I thought the finish could have been executed a little better.
Yeah.
But that's nitpicking, I guess. And, as you said, Bob, I've been big on this. Like, I think Dakota and Bayley as a team, heel team, while Io goes as a babyface singles is the way. No one could have guessed this crowd was going to do this, though. Like, split crowd, you could talk me into. This was insane, quite frankly. I mean, they were, like, really one-sided, which is interesting and is a conversation we should probably get into after we get through the match. But, yeah, I love the match.
Oracle?
Tremendous.
Yeah, this was an incredible match. There were times it was like amazing. There were a few little like off moments, but otherwise it was the way that they put it together. It was very detailed. It was a lot of detailed work, which which you don't really expect with a Bianca match, but that was obviously on Io's part with the arm work and stuff. The one spot where she did the single deadlift with her arm and dropped Io on her face was nuts. As folks have mentioned in the chat. But just an awesome match. The sit-out powerbomb was frightening too, the way they built to it. Like that bump's always scary, like when you do one from the top rope, but like it always freaks me out more. Like I don't know why. Like it's probably safer because like Bianca landed first, but like it's always so scary because like there's just like to time that is just you have to time it so well. Finish was a little off, but I was a little bit surprised, however, Io was too.
Yeah.
I think it was still the right move for Bianca to win. I don't think you can
No,
change it up right
100%.
there because I don't think they were expecting Io to be that over.
For sure. They
Exactly.
couldn't.
Bianca can lose now and she'll be fine, but they need to still they need to build it up
Yes.
for her to lose. They could do it in a month or two, but it needs to be done in a way where there could be some satisfaction of someone finally dethroning her. It probably should. They should probably wait till SummerSlam at this point. I know that's a while away, but I mean, I do think it's time for her to drop the belt, but I don't think last night was the right time.
Agree.
Just because of what came before it didn't sort of necessitate it. But she's pretty much bulletproof. Like I just want her to have a good program. Maybe so with Io. Maybe maybe a rematch down the line. But yeah, I know I bring it up just because I saw it on the timeline last night that people think she should have dropped it. It's like I think it's time, but last night wasn't necessarily.
Honestly, man,
not really set up that way.
It would probably benefit Bianca to drop the belt, but to me there's not an obvious candidate because of the way the division's booked. Like, obviously Io's talented enough to win it, but she wasn't in a because again, hindsight, now we know how over she was in Puerto Rico. Maybe you could have done it then, but that was not. We did not see that coming.
They can capitalize on this now. I'm not saying that they will, but they can, and they can make it an interesting,
for sure,
summer build or whatever, and then Io can beat her, and then it can mean, can have a little bit more meaning. But
the big thing for me with Bianca is, and we all agree on her as a talent. I do think the really interesting part is what she does after she loses the belt. This reaction, while surprising just how strong it was, it didn't shock me that this was sort of ahead of her, because her booking has been such where it's like she's kind of you can't question the win-loss record part, right? She beats everyone. But in some ways, that can be the problem, right? It's like the thing that happened with Cena in the mid-2000s where he beat everyone's favorite wrestler with his finish. And it's like, at some point, the audience, even if they like you, at some point, like, well, hold on. Like, when do I get mine? And if you look at Bianca's like hit list, she's run through the whole division. And let me be clear, I don't disagree with that decision. I think we all think she's money. But when you do it the way they've done it, where it's kind of blunt and she's like unbeatable, inevitably crowds will start to play around with the idea of wanting to see change. And so I'm really interested as to how they refresh her post-title. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
The one difference is that when Cena had opponents, these guys were built up, or at least were super over. Like Io was incredibly over last night, but as someone put in the chat, we don't know how over she would be in the States. That definitely factors in. We all agree that Io is great here, but she obviously, everybody in Damage Control, including Bayley, have not been over very much at all. For since they've come back last summer, and that's not entirely their fault. Triple H's booking of the women has been strangely disappointing since he got. It's been very bizarre. But it's, you just want it to be somebody who's going to be like, going to get that reaction. Most places, not everywhere, but most places. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's in the weeds a little bit, but
Go on, Monty. What you saying?
Yeah, if they do the build like Oracle was saying, and they don't just kind of like throw someone in there to do it, then combine that with what Joe was saying, with people kind of like ready to see the happening. Like he's definitely got to that point with Bianca. So you combine those two things together and just put a little bit of effort into building a challenger. Then whoever Bianca does eventually end her reign with, you probably will get over.
Yes.
The Io thing was like, like Oracle alluded to, so we all know she's great. Twitter knows she's great. The NXT fans know she's great, but like she's just not like connected with the WWE universe in that big way that we all know that we'd like her to. except for last night. And to what Joe was saying, I said to him last night, this is the first time she's really looked like what we see of her on that big of a stage. So we'll see how it all plays out with Bianca and Io. Hopefully Io can keep the momentum going and Bianca can actually, drop the belt in her. Hopefully do something cool at SummerSlam or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say, I mean, in terms of Io being over in America, she's going to have a lot better shot coming out of this match because people would have seen this. And it should be a game changer for her, which is cool. Also.
Yeah. And you imagine she's going to be a babyface now, too. So
she should be. Yeah.
That will help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, just with regards to like if they do a title swap, I hope they don't. I hope they just change the names of the titles and, just take Raw and SmackDown out of them entirely. I don't think they're going to.
What would your names be, Bob?
I guess World and Universal just for the women too. Like it's boring, but just keep it uniform more that way. But I don't know. Like
do you think Universal's going to stay after they unify? Because what are they doing with these two belts?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think Universal's going as soon as probably Roman loses, and then it's just going to be the two belts again instead of. It's technically 2 now, but it's more 3 right now. Like it's gotten real confusing.
But guys, we could have Bianca and Rhea have like a taped backstage segment where they stare at each other and swap belts.
Exactly. I love the kayfabe reasoning that the tag titles get to just stay as they are. It's like, well, no one gives a fuck, like Roman's got these 2 belts, so we have to make a 3rd belt with the tag. But it's like, no, Kevin and Sami can just do what they want. It's fine. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it. So, good times though. Before we move on, Bobby, let me quickly shout out. Franco, G had 95 bits, and also Frank, who resubscribed Prime, been with us for 9 months, and says, and I quote, "Pop." Shout out to both Franco and Frank. Bobby, what's up next, mate?
That is a good question. Where would you like to go next? We got some options here.
You
can go ahead and pick.
Let's tackle the main event, Bobby.
That's fine. I thought it was good. I think it did what it needed to do for sure. The right guy won. The finish leaves it open for a match in Saudi Arabia. If you want to go back to that, that's fine. Brock got color. That was good. Not much to it as far as the match goes, I guess. But it checked the boxes, and I hope that if they do run it back, they kind of get a little more time and get a little more creative with it. But I liked all the before the bell stuff. Brock just doing kind of regular suplexes instead of German suplexes at like a 50-50 rate was strange, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. He got very busted open, and like I said, right guy won.
Absolutely. Oracle.
I'm just laughing because I noticed it live, but like people started posting the video. Cody stomping to get the stairs. The funniest shit I think I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck is he walking like that? What's he doing? He looks like an 8-year-old who's pouting.
He's a thespian, man.
He is very dramatic.
I like the way this is laid out. Like, obviously there was like the typical Brock tropes, but the blood was a huge, added to it tremendously. And I'm glad they did the logical route of Cody like jumping him.
Me too.
Of course he should. He's been trying to fight him for a month.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It made sense that he jumped him. I appreciated that. Like he should have attacked him from behind and started beating the shit out of him with whatever. That was kind of the whole, that was a big part of the build. So that, those two things kind of put it over the top. And also Cody won clean. Did he win decisively? No. I think people were kind of like, he didn't beat him clean. I'm like, well, he did beat him clean.
Yeah.
He just didn't beat him decisively. Brock Lesnar's been beaten decisively like twice in 10 years. Right. He doesn't get beaten decisively. He refuses to allow it. So
probably happened like 3-4 times ever,
Like it doesn't happen. I think McIntyre is one of the only people who did, and that was because that was in front of like Rollins at SummerSlam 19 might have actually. Weirdly enough.
I think he did. Yeah.
I think he did.
But, and of course Roman has at Mania 20 or 30 whatever billion. I don't know what it was.
30 billion.
Those are the 3 I think that have done it. But it kind of seems like they're going to continue with the feud. The match was fun. Brock's bleeding was awesome. Did he blade or was it a shoot?
No, brother,
I think
he
it was
that was a shoot.
he
Brother.
just sprinted into the bushes,
man.
man.
Because he literally went like. That's why I texted you, Joe. I was like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Mhm.
If you watch it back, you can literally see like he goes like this, and it's just like a fucking hole on Bro's foot. Like that was one of the most meathead things I've ever seen. He just run into it and was like, well, "That hurt." You can see his face react to it like that hurt. Damn.
Yeah, well, and I thought he was going to hardway Cody, but instead he just hardwayed himself.
Cody must have been so upset.
Beast.
I will say though, Cody Rhodes again proving himself to be a real wrestler. Did you see the punches he threw when Brock opened up? He said, "Fucking let's go to work, baby. Let's get some blood." You know, he saw an opening. He said, "Here we go. Let's go to work." That's wrestling, man. Monty, what did you think of the main event?
I really enjoyed it for what it was, you know. Cody jumping in, like it's already been said. I appreciated that because it would have been weird if it was just kind of opened up in. We spoke about it last night, Joe. Just typical Brock destroyer for 3 minutes, and he just, you know, it would have been a bit weird with the build that they've gone with. So I appreciated the start and how fired up and how fiery Cody was throughout. Brock got colour, pop. Cody got out of there clean. You know, and he got out of there, and it's good piece of business. You know, as we like to say.
We talked about it last night, as you said, and I think you can attest to like what we got was very close to what I described as an ideal. I thought I liked the match. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was good, very good even. But I did think they got about 50-60% away towards a classic, and it ended. And I don't know if that was always the call, or that was a case of the blood, but that's fine.
No one back at Saudi, I think.
Exactly, yeah. There'll be another time to do this.
That'll be the big epic, you know.
I think we can all agree that everyone on this screen was pretty bullish on this pairing. This feels like a natural pairing for both guys, and I think you saw in this, there's some money made here with these two fellas. These two can do the dance a time or two. So I think there's reason to be slightly concerned about a rematch purely because is Brock going to lose twice to a guy? But you know, you can't ultimately you got to deal with that when you get there, right? Like, I'm happy watching them wrestle again. I like this. I think they have a great one in them. This was trending in that direction, honestly, and I'm increasingly impressed by Cody Rhodes in this role. I really hope they don't, complicate things. I think he left this fine. Like, I agree with Oracle's say. Like, did he beat him emphatically? No, but like, he's fine. This was a nice result for him. Yeah. Even if it wasn't an absolute home run of him beating with his finish.
He bust open the beast and got the pin.
He kicked out of the F5, which is
did.
That too.
That too.
Only Roman's ever kicked out of the F5, right? Yeah. Like nobody else has.
Honestly, the jump start itself is a win because most guys don't get any offense on Brock until he like falls down or gets kicked in the dick or something. You know, like they were like fighting because the thing with Brock is he would always wrestle Roman differently, right? That would be like when the two superheroes meet almost. Other guys, he would just throw them around until you like slipped them banana peel. Yeah. He didn't do that with Cody.
You could tell he likes Cody, which helps.
Yeah. They brawled at the start and it made them feel equal. Obviously, Brock took his long suplex, like
two real Americans in the,
Yeah, something like that, yeah. No, it was a good time, man. I liked it. I will say it should not have main evented the show. Like,
Bad Bunny should have closed.
That stuff that's not like a huge deal to me, but after watching it with that finish, I think it's even more weird it closed, honestly. Like, strange, right? Like, if that was your finish, it almost makes more sense than I have main event over Bad Bunny, who had the fucking, this like grand closing epic visual with all the LWO and all that stuff. So that's my biggest critique is placement, I think. But still.
All right, let's see. So we got 3 matches left. Did you guys like the trios match? I thought it was fine. Like, I liked the one last year better, but like this one was fine.
The one last year was so much better. Also.
Well, yeah.
I was talking to Lord Oracle about this. I'm like the high man on this match, I think. I've always thought it was really good. Not great, but I also don't think they were like trying. I thought they did a good job of like bringing the people back down and then getting them back up for their own finish. It probably didn't have to be that long, right? The only thing I would say is, while I do agree with the general sentiment about like the bloodline stuff it's not that interesting, the idea of them going in circles with the Usos, like, are they in or are they out? The actual Solo Jay conflict, I actually thought was like got a good reaction and was pretty well done. Like when he snatched him, the people absolutely were in on that whole deal. I'm very much aware that I'm more invested in the Usos than a lot of people online, and I get why this could have been fucking exhausting. Like, I actually thought it was pretty compelling. It probably didn't have to be this long, but I thought it was very good personally. That's just me. I don't know what you fellas thought.
Oracle?
It was a very good match. I think a lot of Twitter is tired of the Bloodline thing, and I definitely sympathize with that. But was kind of proven wrong in the sense that it's still pretty over live. Because I thought it was kind of losing some steam live. Maybe it was in the States or whatever, or but that stuff with Jay and Solo got really over live, and you can tell they've kind of gone into like the Solo part of the story now, and he's sort of the central focus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be at SmackDown on Friday here in Knoxville. Roman's coming back after 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever. So
he knows who's in town, brother.
Yeah.
He knows I. but yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's definitely running in circles some, but the Solo focus kind of saves it from being totally going down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on. I don't know, man. We'll see.
You gotta be careful for sure.
Yes.
The only thing, like, I texted you about this last night, and I think I said something about it on Twitter, and someone got mad at me about it. But I don't know about it. The Usos. It's different. I do not think it's talked about enough how over they are now.
Oh yeah.
Like, people think they're like lackeys. They are not. Like, the audience does not see them as just like these dudes in the bloodline. Like,
they're superstars. Yeah.
When the match started, that was the big chant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, and I think that part is why. And again, if you don't into the bloodline thing, I don't even disagree with you necessarily. But what I'm trying to get at is, like, I do think there's a disconnect at play here, to be honest. But yeah, I liked it. Monty, what did you make of the match itself, mate?
I liked it. They went out there, they did what they needed to do, and the big angle with, like, is Solo actually going to do it right now? Like, that got over in the building, so it worked. Yeah, man, it wasn't an absolute slobber knocker barn burner, Right. And to what Bob was saying when we first brought it up, it's like last year's one was probably quite significantly better, but I still thought it was quite good. It was very good, in fact. It's just they done what they needed to do with the placement on the show before the main event, and yeah, man, like I said, they went out there and they did what they needed to do, and that's kind of my main takeaway from it. But with the bloodline stuff is just, it's I'm actually intrigued to see where they go with it and if they can keep it interesting, because there is definitely signals there at the moment where some people online, especially, will kind of get carried away, like, it's already over, it's finished. It's not. And as we've spoke about, like, it's obviously still over. They're all still big stars. The Usos themselves are superstars. Solo is trending in that direction. Anyone that gets in there with them, it's gonna, they're gonna have some sort of a benefit from it. But I'm just kind of the whole cliche of let it play out. That's kind of where I'm at with the bloodline at the moment. I'm not particularly mad at it. Do I think Roman should have dropped the belts? Absolutely. But,
yeah, me too.
So,
I will say, after giving the match a lot of praise, I should have noted, I did think, while I got the idea, the actual execution of Solo just like ending it was very flat, I thought. Very flat. Like, I understand the idea was that Solo just kind of cut through the bullshit and just killed Riddle. But, like, I thought the way they
Riddle
did
as well, bro.
I have to mention, Kevin Owens took a flip bump on the Samoan Spike. And folks, that dude's a freak. He's just something wrong with him, man. He's an animal.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him? They were in the middle of this heat segment, and I was like, I love these guys. And I was half paying attention. I looked up, and Kevin took a fucking back bump on the steps again. I was like, this is like 10 minutes in, man. He's an animal, an absolute savage. So yeah, everyone here was good. I mean, Riddle definitely feels like the odd man out. I don't know if that's like, he made a nice hot tag, but he's so, like, he just doesn't fit the program to me at all. But
no,
whatever.
Need Randy back, brother.
They do,
bro.
I miss him so much, man.
If Randy was in this match, I'd have been shameless. I sent Monty a 4.5. Same exact match. Fuck it.
Imagine when he comes in there and hits like 3 RKOs. Oh,
yeah,
that's a.
Do you remember that finish you got last year? Oracle when it was his big night. It was his big anniversary night, and he hit like 8
I was there.
RKOs. Yeah, you were there.
I was
You were
there
in-
live.
you were in
Oh, I
attendance.
lost my mind.
Beautiful.
Me and my brother were up there in the cheap seats, fucking losing our minds, man.
Unreal. They all fed an RKO, right? It was the deal. It was like a big. What was the main event? A 10-man tag, 8-man tag.
Yeah. It was like a 10. It was like Ezekiel, Cody, Randy, and Riddle versus KO.
Ezekiel is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I forgot about
it
that.
ruled, man. And that was also the show that Asuka came back and interrupted Becky, and that was awesome too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping this is. I think the SmackDown's going to be a pretty big deal. Oh, by the way, I just saw on Twitter right before the show started, they're announcing the tournament participants today.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do that, while we were here, but I think it's going to be a little bit later.
Bill Goldberg's time to shine, brother.
Oh, come on.
Um,
Come on.
okay. Listen, it's been long enough. I think we need to talk about Omos.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I don't know if it's just because he faced, Brock and Seth back to back, but he's good, man. He is trending in the right direction. He's very good. I thought this match was awesome. You never know quite what you're going to expect, but they did kind of exactly what they needed to do here. And, for as many problems as we have with Seth Rollins, they're not in the ring. And he got a lot out of Omos here. I thought the finish was awesome. And, Seth's a guy who I think will probably be the Raw finalist for this new title, and he needed a big win here, and he got one. And it was a good match.
Yeah. Look, we'll get out of the way. Seth Rollins is really on fire right now.
Yeah.
He's probably the most popular he's ever been. And I think he could have a good match with anyone because he's so over. The crowd is into everything he does. Like when you get a heat segment on Seth, they're like rocking for this comeback. He's really doing a great job. Credit to him. But now we've got that out of the way. This Omos fella is... I said to Oracle, he's starting to do giant noises, Like when he sells, he goes, rah, rah. That's wrestling, mate. If you did that against Antonio Inoki, what I'm saying? Place will come up. The game still works that way.
Kicking out at one ball, pressing him up into the air and shit.
Yep.
Bro, when he blocked the stomp,
getting it down, bro.
I lost my mind when he blocked.
He didn't even. Honestly, block is not even the right word. He just couldn't be stomped. He couldn't simply not be stomped from that height. It was incredible. Oracle, we were having some fun. This was a good time, right? Good time.
This was a good match for sure.
Yeah.
In some ways, it was probably a couple minutes too long. I think more like 11 and a half minutes. But Omos, Seth is... I've never thought Seth was bad in the ring necessarily. He's just... I think he has a ceiling in the ring for me.
Not for you. That's where I'm at with it.
That's a ceiling in the ring.
Not for me.
Not for me. I just put it that way. But almost the way he carries himself is he's gotten so much better. He's starting to understand psychology now. Knows how to sell right, knows when to sell. That stomp spot was incredible. I never thought I would pop at a spot in a Seth Rollins and Omos match, and I absolutely did. I was like, oh, this spot. And even the finished giant stomp looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was good stuff, man. This definitely over delivered for me. I was interested in it because I thought it was such a fascinating, bizarre match. Remember they announced it on the weekend, and Seth Rollins was like, "Okay,
Yeah."
We need more of that, to be honest. That's WCW shit, bro. Just announce matches.
But this was very entertaining. Again, a couple of minutes too long, but I've become more and more impressed with Omos. His squashes still aren't for me, really. He's not a good squash wrestler, but at all. He's actually a bad squash wrestler. But when he has an opponent, imagine him throwing Ziggler around for 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. I got Joe interested there, didn't I?
Did you see Ziggler's tweet today?
No, I missed it.
He said he was what did he say? I'm jealous of all the guys who are in Puerto Rico. Shout out to Jacksonville too. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, I would guess. Beast.
He's the best.
He is. I'm in on this Omos.
Especially after last Wednesday,
Oh yeah. So look, Seth feels like he should be the world champion, right? The new belt feels like he's the perfect time for him. I know we all feel different ways about this, but he's so over, man. It's crazy how over he is.
They've been heating up Shinsuke a bit, but yeah,
Well,
I
hold
think
on.
it's probably.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. All right. Bob's saw Shin have a
That was
3.5 star
aggressive.
match and said, "Well,
Yeah.
hold on." You know,
He had a good match with Cross, man. I'm all in.
You know what?
that's
It's
one
a
good
perfect
match.
fit for Rollins because his ceiling is mid-card champion. So yeah.
Honestly, I don't even like. They're clearly going to brand the belt as like the workhorse belt, which is dumb in itself because that's what the other belts are for. But if you're
Yeah.
going to do it, Seth probably deserves that toy, and like it will be.
Yeah, just the timing of it as well. Just the
Yeah.
timing of it with how over he is. It's like Triple H announced the tournament yesterday, and the Seth chant broke out. It's like it's his title to win at this point.
It
So.
is.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's gonna probably be Seth and AJ.
Yeah, Omos, bro. He looks like he might have been on a little cycle recently or something. You know what I mean? He was looking good out there.
He always looks good, bro. He's ready to go.
He's awesome, man. I've always put him over on the podcast, and it's just kind of like he's 7'4" and fucking huge black guy. So that's pro wrestling.
He does have he does have presence genuinely.
Yeah, he does.
does.
That's what I mean, and he actually has a presence, and he's starting like we've just been over. Like he's finding the psychology, and he's kind of he's putting it together, as to say.
I don't know how many feuds you can do where he's just a big guy and he's something you're trying to overcome. But
what do you want him to do?
all of them,
smaller?
all of them.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I just don't know.
He needs a sprinkling of unprofessionalism, right, Oracle? He just needs. We need just add into his game a danger.
Yeah.
It's just an element of danger. Maybe it's like a violent.
He needs to drop a dropper on their head. Not, don't hurt them. Just drop them on their head a couple times. We don't want any hospital visits.
Yeah.
Just, couple close calls.
He looks a little bit too. Yeah, he looks a little too professional. That's the only thing I would say. But he's on the right track to being a real fucking wrestler right now.
He absolutely is. He already is one. As soon as he debuted at that height, brother, he was a real wrestler.
That's true.
It's just that he's actually getting pretty good at it now. But on that note, I'm gonna get out of here and let you guys do your gentleman's finishing stretch of this podcast. Appreciate the space that you give me.
Sweet, mate.
And Sandra, I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit, mate.
Bye, Monty.
See you, bud.
There he is, folks. Famed wrestle purist there.
All right, what do we got left? We got Rhea and Zelina and the triple threat, I believe. I guess we'll do Rhea and Zelina just because the triple threat will play into another talk we could have. I mean, it's kind of what I expected it to be. Like, you knew Zelina wasn't going to win, but it's cool that she got that moment, and the crowd was really happy for her. And the thing with the sandal that really popped the crowd quite a bit. That's a thing in Puerto Rico I was reading about. Like, that's something that the moms go and hit their kids with. So, for her mom to throw that to her was a cool spot. That's why the crowd loved it so much. But yeah, I mean, the match kind of was what it was. Like, Zelina's not great, but she did what she could here. And I mean, the result was never in question, but it was a nice moment.
Look, folks, when Oracle and I co-sign a professional wrestler, we like stamp this is a real wrestler. We both do it collectively. We don't just do it for the sake of doing it, Oracle and I had a conversation on Friday night, I think, about this match. And we basically put this match together without knowing we were putting it together. But we knew, really, because we knew it was Rhea Ripley. She's not going to make a fool of herself. She ain't going to go out there and fucking go 50-50 with Zelina Vega, right?
Yeah.
We said 7 minutes. We said give her the DDT spot and kick the shit out of her otherwise. And that's what she did, man. I mean, I saw people wanting something else. Like, is it a great match from a starring perspective? No, that's not the point. If Rhea gives Zelina like 10 near falls, that completely removes her aura. And the next time that she wrestles with someone who is higher on the card, they get nothing from being compared for Rhea. I thought this was like perfect for what it was. I think you're in the same boat, right, Oracle?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought Rhea was just tremendous in this. Like, and first of all, it was an awesome moment for Zelina. It was really, really, really cool. Really awesome. Her entrance was great with the Puerto Rican flag. Of course, all the tributes to her dad and her family and whatnot. She is not great in the ring. She's obviously more valuable as a manager, but it was it was nice to see her have that moment. But this match, I think, was more about it was about Zelina, but it was also like kind of unheralded about how Rhea sort of works the match. And certainly the agents helped protect her in this regard
For
as
sure,
well.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
they knew it was important to do that. But she sold exactly how she should have. She always kind of sells a DDT like that, but like
Right.
it's always better when you sell it like that, and she's like it stuns her but doesn't completely take her out. Selena got a nice near fall, and then Rhea just kicks her in the head and boom, hits the
Beats
finish.
off.
It's over, like, and before that, she was throwing her around the ring, and taunting, and that's how it was supposed to go, Rhea knew exactly how she had to work that match. Rhea Ripley, man, she's
top, man. She's one of the top players in the game
she's one
right
of the
now.
biggest stars in the entire company.
Yeah,
She's
and
one of the
she's
biggest
just
stars in
getting
wrestling, in
she's
all of
just getting
wrestling.
started
She is.
too, man. Like I honestly I talk about it a lot. The other day we were doing a show on Wrestle Curious and someone asked like who would be your free picks in the industry right now? And I said I can't look past Rhea because I think she can be like a real star, like a celebrity. Like I think she can cross over. I think if wrestling can get new eyes to watch how fucking cool Rhea Ripley is, I think they'll become Rhea Ripley fans pretty quick. She has a very unique appeal. Her matches for like us nerds are awesome, but she's also impressive in a way that like a casual fan would watch her and be immediately impressed, right? Like she's dynamic and she's getting there as a promo. Her charisma's always been tremendous. Like she's always got over with live crowds, but she's a superstar, man. Like genuinely, there are very few wrestlers right now who are her age, especially. She's still young and have like the tick as many boxes as she does. She's very special.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And she's going to be champion, I think, for a long time. I don't see her really losing that belt anytime soon. And that's good. I mean, she kind of, the first little run she had got screwed up a little bit. But yeah, she's making the most of this one. And it's been really cool to see.
She's better for the experience.
Yes.
She also, when she moved up to the main roster, I think a lot of things happened to her. Like COVID hit and she lost that match to Charlotte, and I think that hurt her confidence. And she was she was awesome in 2020 NXT, even with no fans. She was great that whole year. And then she was struggling with confidence issues. I even think she's been somewhat open about that.
She has.
Her first year on the main roster, she was like her charisma wouldn't even show through sometimes. She was just so uncomfortable being out there. It honestly came across that way at times. She almost it looked like she didn't even want to be there. But she, the heel turn was like, I think she was already gaining some self-esteem and stuff when she was with the tag team and Liv.
Agree.
But like, she got like so much more over, and I'm so glad the concussion. It's obviously something they're always going to have to pay attention with her now, unfortunately. But that gave her the time to develop her character. And again, the concussion was horrible. I don't want to sound like, oh, good.
No, you're right. I get you though. Yeah.
But it's one of those shitty blessings in disguise in a lot of way. I want to put that, emphasize that shitty because no one wants, head injuries are very serious. But it honestly helped her being out of the ring to just sort of develop her character and be a sort of a second. And the Dom pairing was just what a pairing.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, she's obviously helped Dom, but like, it's amazing to watch like her and I mean, she's even a bigger PC success than Bianca, I think, at this point. In some ways.
Yeah.
She was.
Although
I guess
she wrestled before the PC, right? That's what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, her presentation transformed at the PC. I haven't watched her matches. I don't know. I think there was a lot of hype for her in Australia.
Let's be honest. The PC's done largely a failure, and I'll continue, and I will absolutely say that. What the hell they're doing over there, I don't know, but it ain't good.
True.
But, Bianca's by far the best full-on PC.
Yes, actual home ground, yeah.
But this is a whole other conversation. But, like, look at somebody like Dom. He benefited because he's Ray's son, but he didn't have to go to the PC. He's got good, better than those fucking kids down there.
He's got good instincts.
He doesn't necessarily have the fundamentals as good, although I think his fundamentals are kind of underrated now.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. That's a whole other side conversation we could talk about another day. But
For sure.
just Rhea's, she's special, man. She's honestly like, she needs to be the focal point of Raw. I think she needs to be like the main eventer. Like, I know Seth probably should have won the title and should be the workhorse and stuff, but like Rhea needs to be main event in like 70% of the shows and like,
Yeah.
she needs to be, like, the
I
center.
just my biggest concern is the lack of dance partners right now.
I know.
Because of
That's
the
a
creative.
problem.
Yeah, the creative for the rest of the division has been such that there's not a plethora of names that we can go, oh yeah, that's that, but I think she's so over that she can pull some people up. I just hope she gets the chance to be in those spots as you mentioned, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Theory and Bronson Reed and Lashley. I don't really have much to say about this one. Going into it, it was like, Theory's going to pin Bronson Reed. Lashley's going to work Roman in Saudi Arabia. And then, Cole kind of brought that up. Like I was talking to Lashley earlier, he's only focused on Roman. So it seems like that's probably the move. And you don't need too terribly long to build that, I don't think either. I don't like it's good that Theory's on SmackDown now since he beat everyone on the Raw mid card. It's not working with him. It hasn't been working with him. It's what we talked about. But I don't know. Like they got the result they had to get there, and now we can move on to whatever and Roman and Lashley.
Yeah, hopefully. I wouldn't Lashley away from this guy. I feel like every time I watch WWE, he's wrestling Theory for the last year.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like that's why it'll be nice to have Lashley on SmackDown too, because you would hope he can do some stuff that's not just wrestling Theory.
I mean, maybe, but they both moved, right?
So, well, that's true.
They did their favorite. Oracle texted me. It was when I was in Paris. Oracle texted me. They did it again. They did that thing where they switched rivals so they can. But anyway, I think I actually like the match. I've always very well agented, and Oracle, you mentioned it to me about the time, right? This didn't get too much time, and I actually thought Bronson Reed had a strong performance and looked good.
He did.
I'm not like a huge fan or anything, but he has some nice offense. You plug him in correctly, he can get over slowly but surely. It's taking him a while, but he might get there. Love watching Lashley, and to his credit, while I'm no great supporter, I thought Austin Theory took some hellacious bumps in here. I mean, really, he was all over the place in that regard. So I actually like the match. Oracle, I think you're in a similar place, right?
Yeah. It was a very good under 10-minute sprint, which is what most triple threat matches should be.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do like a main event triple threat, and those should never go more than like 15, 17. Like that awesome Rock Taker angle or whatever it was. That might have went like 21, but like, the triple threat matches that go way too long are always like wanting me to smash my head through a brick wall. But this one was very good. Bronson Reed is not my favorite either. I think if he just like does his deal where he throws his fat bowling ball body around for 8 minutes, it works. But like he doesn't really have the the chops to kind of pace a match and put on a classic or anything. He's got a lot more to learn. But in terms of like just using his big man offense and sort of kind of trying to give himself some sort of charisma, I think he's been decent in this run actually. But the match was good. Theory did his typical steal the win like he always does.
Yep.
Theory did take some crazy bumps in this match. That's a credit to him. He's not over. I'm hoping they just abandon it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be in luck with that, but we'll see.
I don't think we are, but I just don't know I don't think they can ever get him over.
It's not there, man. He's one of those guys who looks good on like the skill chart, but ain't wrestling. You have to we've said this a million times, but there are certain guys who like you look at what they have and it looks compelling from he can do this, he can do that. He's a young guy, he's got a good body. It's like he's not connecting with the people.
I bring up Dom Mysterio again and again. When Dom goes another feud outside of Ray, it'll be interesting to see if they can, if he can do something outside of that. But like Dom checks no skill mark.
No.
He looks terrible. You know, he's not that good in the ring.
It's true.
He you know, he's not a good promo really at all. Not truly. You know what I mean? He knows how to get heat. You know, and obviously a lot of things have benefited being paired with Rhea.
For sure.
Um,
He's good at embracing it though, and making the most of it. You know.
correct.
Yeah.
Like it's that's just stuff that
We had a smooth ride, to be fair, Bob.
We did.
We had a very smooth ride. He's gonna wave in a minute, folks.
He is.
Bear with. He's gonna wave in a minute. We're gonna plan the hits here before we go out here for Fed Dead Redemption, episode 39. Here he is.
There we go.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just saying that Theory's like the exact opposite of Dom in that he's got like fundamentals down,
Yeah.
and stuff, but he just doesn't have the presence of mind or charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. False finish. No, I absolutely agree. There's a sort of natural instinct with Dom that is impressive, even if his skill set is like is kind of whatever. But good times.
Yeah, overall, great show. Might have been my favorite pay-per-view of the year so far. WrestleMania Night 1 was very good.
WrestleMania Night 1 was crazy.
Yeah, but this is
they're on a good run with papes, man.
Yeah, it's an environment we're going to remember for a long time. It's also pretty crazy. Like for people in the U.S., this is their last pay-per-view that's going to be at night until SummerSlam, because the London show is going to be early and the Saudi show is going to be early. So, wild time, man.
Sounds like real graps.
I'm excited. I mean, I like when we're done by 3:30 or whatever, and have the rest of the day.
Bob talking like he works the show. Like he's in Gorilla. All-time great crowd. Really fun show. Another example of WWE embracing a particular presentation and style that they are singular in terms of being able to do. Look, there's a lot of variety in wrestling, but there's a couple of things on this show that only they can now. Bad Bunny being the obvious example. And, I think WWE is at a point where if you're easing your way back in, I don't watch the TV closely, but man, am I having fun watching these big shows. I really am. Oracle, go ahead, mate.
As Frank said in the chat just now, and you said, Joe, the TV's boring, man. Like the TV is
it's Triple H.
Honestly, this will sound crazy. Other than the last couple of years, no. But before that, TV with Vince was like way easier to watch and way more interesting than Triple H's. I mean, like, no, it wasn't as good as NXT TV necessarily.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as boring or as repetitive as it could be, especially during the Black and Gold era. And like that's basically what it is. But just like the takeovers, and I've texted Joe this the other day, the pay-per-views are like the big shows hit.
Yep.
Like, the only one that didn't even hit was Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it wasn't awful. I thought it was a pretty disappointing show, but I didn't think it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like every show's hit, and I think that trend's going to continue. The TV. I don't know. Hopefully they do some interesting things over the summer, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know.
I think it's an example of a traditional booking mindset in terms of let's put our card together for Backlash and we'll work backwards and figure out what our build is. Whereas Vince got to a point where he would oversee TV, writing each week, and then he'd be like, "What is our card for Backlash?" And he'd be in the middle of it, and it's like, "Well, fuck," and then he would adjust accordingly. And I think you're seeing that, like the end games are generally worthwhile with Triple H, even if his route may not be the most compelling. Hayes in the chat says he's liking the TV. I don't watch it closely. I can't really. I can't get it, but I really enjoy the big shows.
Right. TV's not terrible. It's just not particularly interesting and sometimes can be boring. I watch TV pretty much, I pretty much watch TV every week.
Yeah. It's kind of paint by numbers, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to quickly show this some love because don't have an ask for the Good Brothers Viking Raiders review. Brother, that pop when the big OG came in. That will live with me forever. That was something. It was a fun match. I enjoyed
Clapping hands up there in the hallway.
Oh, yeah. Machine Gun even took his shirt off, bro. He was like,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, bro. Let's rock. Nice. Good stuff. I liked it. Good times.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it for us. Oracle, you got anything to plug?
Joe and I may do a gimmick here in a couple weeks. Historical
Hell yeah.
Oracle.
Nice.
I've taken a bit of a break with the NBA playoffs. I try to catch a part of every game. I do that every year. I'm terrible about that, but we'll probably jump into that. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but it's possible we show back up here beginning of June, the end of May to talk about the big Double or Nothing, Clash of Champions weekend. I'm sure we'll.
There'll be some stuff.
It depends on if how all how those shows go, how but how busy or not busy people are. We may find a time to do that. So look to do. Look for us then, and it might even be something we can convince Shoot to join us with. So, but other than that, nothing too much to plug. I'm just glad we did this show. I think this is working. I think the new Late Night Grin's working. I think we were all pretty excited and passionate and interested in this show, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's been going very well. I know we have Grim Grappler Kevin Owens this month. Still don't have a date. One of the final couple Tuesdays of the month, I would imagine, is usually when we do those. And that's it for me for plugs too. This has been very good. I think it's working very well so far. And Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a good time. We're having fun, folks. I know it's going to be more frenetic in terms of we haven't got a schedule. At Late Night Grim, we'll keep you plugged, and I'm just trying to update the Discord as I go. A lot of people help me out in that regard too. So, just stay with us. There'll be a show most weeks. Hold up, we have a tournament reveal. Bob, can you pull up the bracket, mate?
Perfect.
Here we go. We'll close with this. But I'll be on Wrestle Purist later tonight. I've done a lot of shows this week on there, and I'm getting some good paydays. So, help me out. I'm Oracle, bro. The territory's hot. I'm working my way onto every card. It's fucking incredible, man.
What is this?
The Wrestle Purist podcast this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's super chat money, brother.
Ooh,
getting myself booked. Oh, let me tell you, KFC's never tasted so good, bro.
This appears to be a video. So let me.
Okay, right. You maneuver your way through that, but So this week, in 2 weeks' time, I should say, we're gonna be watching the New Japan show. Matt and I don't know what it's called, but Mercedes Moné is on it, and so is Jonathan Moxley as well as Kazuchika Okada. That's in a couple of weeks. Next week, I'm going to do some kind of grin along. It may be a retro show. It may be a thing where I have the matches on the screen. I have to watch at some point Nathan Jones versus, I believe, Scott Steiner I said I was going to watch. So that sounds
outstanding.
Absolutely. So there'll be some kind of grin along. I'll update everyone on Twitter when I have the answers on that front. But
let me do this. But before Bobby makes the announcement,
okay.
I just want to give a shout out to the unfortunate passing of Dean Rasmussen, who passed away last week. Literally a Mount Rushmore of wrestling fandom. Without Dean, we probably wouldn't be here, three of us doing this. I truly believe that. He was the beginning of a long line of tremendous goofy and nerdy wrestling fandom, dating back 30 years. So if there's on the Deathlight Driver DVD VR Twitter page somewhere down on there's a GoFundMe there.
I'm gonna tweet that.
Bucks, donate.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet that on the Late Night Green. If you go to Late Night Green, I'm gonna tweet the link now. Been amazing to see the outpouring from people in and out of the business, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Been really, really cool. And I co-sign everything you said. I was obviously much less familiar than yourself, but familiar enough to know.
He and my brother knew each other pretty well, so my brother was pretty upset about it. But he's just an absolute pillar of the bullshit that we do.
Absolutely.
So
I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
A good call, Oracle. Bobby, do we have the bracket?
Yeah, well, it's not the actual matches yet. It's just the participants. But
Okay.
Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio, Edge, Damian Priest,
Damn.
Miz, Sheamus, Shinsuke, and Cody Rhodes.
Oh my.
Yeah,
There's some all-stars in there, brother.
good
yeah,
stuff.
buddy.
That's gonna be good. So it's gonna be
So
two triple threat matches, right? And then
Brock's going to take Cody out, right?
yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. We will see. It'll be
And that
interesting.
starts tomorrow. So
And there's
that'll
going
be
to be 2 on Raw, then a final on Raw, and then 2 on SmackDown, and a final on SmackDown.
yeah, and then the two winners from the shows face at Night of Champions.
Okay, yeah, okay. So are they doing the tournament? Are they doing the first part of the tournament all week and then just building to the matches?
Yeah. So I guess it's the 2 triple threat matches are on Raw and SmackDown this week. So there's going to be 2 triple threat matches on Raw and then 2 on SmackDown. And then next week, the winners of the 2 triple threat matches.
It's next week?
Well,
I thought they were doing it in one night. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. They
yeah,
haven't been great about like.
Yeah. They might not know. I don't know.
yeah,
We're getting a ruling? I believe we're getting a ruling.
yeah. So the finals are next week, and then the Night of Champions match is Raw versus SmackDown. So it's 2 triple threats this week, and then the winners of the triple threats face off next week.
Okay, cool.
And then, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
so I get to see 2 triple threat matches on SmackDown when I get.
Yes, exactly.
My God. I hope they don't go too long, the Oracle of Wrestling, but we shall see, folks. You'll see us all again here on it pretty soon. And again, stay tuned at Late Night Grin. Everyone, if you can, support the link that I just tweeted over there. Yeah, keep grinning. All how. Follow the fellas at King Motivator H, at Bobby Two Shoes Bullets, and enjoy this outro, folks. All how.